Hi, good morning, class. My name is Malik and today I'll be talking to y'all about the history of online shopping. So, by show of hands, how many of y'all have ever purchased anything online? Alright, I can see I'm not the only one that like to shop. And, we just use that more and more as technology advances. Now, what is online shopping exactly? It's pretty self-explanatory, but online shopping, or e-shopping as they call it, is a form of electronic commerce which allows consumers to directly buy goods or services from a seller over the internet using a web browser. And alternative names are e-web store, e-shop, e-store, internet shop, web store, online storefront, and virtual store. And we have what we call EDI. That stands for Electronic Data Interchange. And in 1960, they permitted companies to carry out electronic transactions. And although the concept of e-commerce did not touch the daily internet user until the era of the 1990s, still some big companies used the EDI as early as 1960. And the actual railroad industry was among the first to understand the importance of EDI and start using the same. And after that, a lot of other companies in the transportation industry followed. And here is what we consider to be an e-commerce hero, Mr. Michael Aldrich. And in 1979, him and his wife were strolling through the supermarket, and he was hit with a big idea that would eventually change e-commerce. And Mr. Aldrich connected a domestic TV and a computer with the telephone lines so as to start selling groceries online via this model. And he pretty much came up with the model that helped launch the business of the online shopping. And does anyone know what B2B means? It stands for business to business, and it refers to the business that is conducted between two companies rather than a company and an individual consumer. Now, in 1981, Thompson Holiday picked up 66 travel agents from around England and connected them in order to come up with what has been tagged as the first business-to-business online shopping. And these agents were able to extract data online and understand what was available from the Thompson brochure as to serve customers instantly. And now we have the first ever mini sale. And this is pretty much 1982. This is pretty much the year that France jotted their name down in the history books when the French-based telecom company invented Minitel, which has been considered as the most happening pre-WW online service. Now, a Minitel was a video online service accessible through telephone lines, and is considered one of the most successful pre-worldwide services. Now, during the earlier years, the users still had the privilege to make online purchases and check phone directories, chat with each other, and various other basic searches, and, just like in current times, internet usage. Now, in 1984, the world's first business-to-consumer online shopping system was invented by Tesco. And we have Ms. Jane Snowball, which was tagged as the first ever home shopper at the age of 72 when she became Tesco's first customer. Does anybody want to take a guess at what were the first items that she purchased?
That's it.
What is
Jewelry.
it? No.
Groceries.
That's right, groceries. She purchased some eggs, some margarine, and cornflakes. Yeah, that's necessary at 72. And now I got a little video for y'all regarding that.
(1984) Gateshead. A 72-year-old grandmother sat in her armchair, picked up a remote control and started a retail revolution. Mrs. Jane Snowball was part of a local council initiative to help the elderly and infirm. She'd been given a groundbreaking bit of computer technology to order groceries from her local Tesco. It was called Videotex.
Mrs. Snowball never saw a computer. Never. Mrs. Snowball saw a television. Her connection to the television was a TV remote with an additional button which said phone. What effectively we did was to take a domestic television in a home and turn it into a computer terminal.
I know when to go out. I know when to stay in. Get things done.
It took just 15 minutes to teach this trailblazing Silver Surfer how to order online.
You know, 1984, when you're doing online shopping, you know, it was amazing. And she loved it. Absolutely. Loved it.
Oh, what do you think of it?
I think it's wonderful.
Mrs. Snowball ordered eggs, margarine and cornflakes, reassuringly British. 5 years before the World Wide Web was invented, her order was sent down the phone line to her local branch in Tesco, who picked the items off the shelf, ready for delivery.
It changed the world of shopping. What I'd done was to make shopping functional. And so I've stripped out all the theatre, made it functional, anytime, any place, anywhere. Virtual merchandise.
Few predicted all those years ago that this quaint experiment would anticipate a complete transformation of shopping, which would change the face of our high streets. From a transaction of just a few quid to a global trillion-dollar industry, this was history. But back then, when the future founders of Google and Facebook were just kids or newborn babies, how could any retailer know that the internet would change everything?
All right, now, also the online shopping system started the concept of online shopping, or the online shopping basket, which was later renamed the online trolley. And in 1984, the CompuServe announced the electronic mall, which was almost like the e-commerce of today. And next we have SWREG. I wasn't able to find out if it stood for anything or if it was an acronym, but in 1987, Immersion Account launched that helped software developers sell their software products online. And SWREG happens to be one of the oldest pieces of software that is still available. And now it provides independent software and shareware business owners a method of selling products online with features such as direct software download and electronic license delivery. In 1990, this was the year that the first web browser was launched. Does anyone know what the first web browser is?
Was it Netscape?
Nope, that's close though. It was actually the World Wide Web. And now, the name of the browser was the World Wide Web, and it was later renamed to the Nexus as to avoid the obvious confusion. And Nexus was also the editor for programs who coded websites. During these days, Nexus was supposed to be the only medium to access the internet in the graphical format, but this was actually launched for the public by using internet news groups as a medium of communication. In 1991, back then, the NSF-NET, which is the National Science Foundation Network, pretty much was a backbone of the internet, but wasn't available for commercial use. Now, in the year 1991, the NSF, the National Science Foundation, cleared the way for commercial use of the net, and this was considered to be a major boost for the e-commerce industry and its future growth. Statistics state that the traffic on the backbone network of NSF jumped to over 1 trillion bytes per month in the year of 1991, which was after it was open for commercial use, but by 1996, there was over 10 million hosts online, and the internet was now a global phenomenon. Also, in 1991, the University of Minnesota launched what we call the Gopher, and that's the first point-and-click based web browser that could be used to navigate files on the internet. And at times it has been tagged as a birth of the internet, and it was originally designed to ease campus communication. We have, in 1992, this book, The Future Shop, How New Technologies Would Change the Way We Shop and what we buy, was published. The book was considered revolutionary considering the fact that it talked about what will happen in the future of e-commerce and how the internet will take shape. The authors Snyder and Ziporin powerfully describes, the glass highways of the future, which will not only benefit consumers, but will also provide fantastic opportunities for schools, hospitals, businesses, and the average Americans as they enter the information age of the 21st century. 1994 has been tagged as the mother of all years for e-commerce, as Netscape launched the encryption certificate, which became the trustworthy means of transmitting data over the internet. Certificates gave the browsers a chance to trust a source before displaying its data, ensuring personal information, something that helped the end consumer shower more interest on the internet and indirectly on e-commerce transactions. Also, in 1994 was the year that Yahoo was launched. Now, the domain was registered later in the year of 1995, but this truly gave the internet and e-commerce a completely new direction. 1995 was when the NSF started charging a fee for registering domain names. And at that time, the internet had 12,000 domain names registered, and the number jumped to over 2 million in the next 3 years. Also, on January the 18th of 1995, finally the day of the domain, the yahoo.com was registered. And the word Yahoo is an acronym for yet another hierarchical, officious oracle. And one must understand by now, a lot of other services that would later rule the web had started to appear, and some of these were Amazon, Auction Web, which later became eBay, and VeriSign. In 1998 is when PayPal came into existence. The current PayPal system that we see is actually the merger of X.com, a financial service company of the late 2000s, and Confinity, which had happened to be a payment and cartographic company. It was the year 1998 only when Google entered the world of e-commerce and Yahoo launched the Yahoo online stores. And I have another video for you on pretty much the future of the online shopping.
U.S. shoppers made Cyber Monday the biggest online shopping day in history, with a 20.6% increase in online sales, this according to the latest cloud-based analytics from IBM. Mobile sales led the way, exceeding 17% of total online sales, an increase of 55.4% year over year. Cyber Monday also capped the highest 5-day online sales period on record, from Thanksgiving Day through Cyber Monday, which grew 16.5% over the same period in 2012. But even more impressive, and some are saying the highlight of this all, is that the mobile device has become the shopping companion of choice for consumers, driving record mobile sales with 55% growth over last year. And in a sign of just how important the mobile device has become to shoppers, IBM data showed that mobile sales on Black Friday alone surged 43% compared to last year. And in a look at the total numbers of mobile sales over the period, 25.8% of total online sales for Thanksgiving were mobile, and 21.8% for Black Friday were mobile, showing a trend that consumers went from the dinner table to their tablets to lock in the best offers. And my hometown, New York City, took the title of most digitally savvy for online shopping. Share your opinion on this topic via Twitter at AskModernWallStreet.